Hello, the students. Welcome to Educate. Today we'll be continuing with the principles of neutralization titrations. This is part 2 of our series. Last time we introduced the standard solutions and their specifications. We also introduced the indicators as well as their behavior during a titration and acid-base titration. So now we're just going to look at the mathematics of it. So from our video last time, we talked about the indicator as a weak organic acid. Whenever it loses a proton, what does it do? It changes its color. Hence we say it's an indicator because it changes color whenever it loses a proton. So here, when we look at this equilibrium reaction, we can try to write the equilibrium constant for this particular acid. So that is Ka is going to be the concentration of the hydronium ions multiplied by the concentration of the conjugate base, which is In, and then this is all over the concentration of the acidic form of the indicator. So this is an acid dissociation constant expression. Remember that whenever we are doing these K expressions are your equilibrium expressions. This is particularly for an acid. We have to consider the concentration of the products. In this case, our products, it is the hydronium ions as well as the conjugate base of the indicator. So we multiply those concentration in the numerator, and then this is over the concentration of the reactants. In this particular case, we've got two reactants. We've got this acidic form of the indicator, and we also have water as well as a reactant. As a reactant as well. Okay, so here we realize that water is a pure liquid. Remember that water is a pure liquid, and pure liquids in the K expressions or in the equilibrium constant expressions, they've got a concentration of 1 or a concentration of unity. Hence why we exclude it from the expression. So from this Ka value expression, we can try to make the hydronium ions concentration as the star subject of the formula by just rearranging. You can just mathematically multiply, cross multiply here. You just cross multiply this to the other side, and then you divide with this In minus. And then when you make this this expression, you are going to end up having something like the concentration of the hydronium ions released by this indicator whenever it loses a proton is going to be equal to Ka. This is the Ka of the what? Of the indicator. That is the acid dissociation constant of the indicator. And then this is multiplied by the ratio of the acidic form of the indicator over the basic form of the indicator, or the conjugate base of the indicator. So why is this mathematical derivation important? The mathematical derivation is important because this ratio of the acid form of the indicator to its base form, it is the one that controls the color of the solution. So the color of the solution is controlled by this ratio here. So whenever you are making the ratio of the concentration of the acidic form of the indicator over the concentration of the basic form or the conjugate base of the indicator, this one, it controls color. That is its importance. It controls color. Now, how does this control color? We need to understand that as humans, biologically, our eyes can only detect a specific range of colors. Okay, they can only detect a specific range of wavelengths, and that is a falling the visible light. That is only what we can detect. But if we have got other wavelengths or other different colors and they are out of the visible light spectrum, then we are not able to detect them. So we need to understand that for humans, for us to be able to see or to be able to observe the color of the indicator, because the whole point of having an indicator is for us to observe the color change. Okay, it's for us to observe the what? The color change. So everything about an indicator must always be linked to its color change and how we observe it. So for humans, we can only be able to detect the color change of an indicator provided that this ratio that I've already talked about is greater or equal to 10, and also the ratio is less or equal to 0.1. So it means that for us to be able to visualize, or for us to be able to see this color change whenever you have reached your endpoint, you need this ratio to be greater or equal to 10, or you need the ratio to be less or equal to 0.1. So the moment it happens, maybe this ratio, it is now less than 10. Okay, if this ratio is less than 10, then you are going to have a problem because you won't be able to observe the color change. Okay, even if you keep on titrating, you'll only see a colorless analyte, and you keep on titrating and you think maybe this is not working, but it is because the ratio here is actually greater or equal, it's actually it's not greater or equal to 10. That's why you cannot see the color. So for us to see the colors, these are the constraints that we need to abide to. So from this, we're going to derive an expression that will explain how the pKa of an indicator relates to the colors that you can be able to see. So using this expression, we just want to say that this is our equation 1, and then this is our equation 2, and then this is our equation 3. All right, when you look at equation 2 and you look at equation 1, if we multiply with Ka on both sides of equation 2, let's just say we say Ka multiplied by this ratio of HIN, this ratio of HIN over the ratio of IN minus, it is going to give us Ka multiplied by 10, right? Going to give us Ka multiplied by 10, because how are we getting this? We just go to this equation exactly as it is. We multiplied by Ka on both sides. We multiplied by Ka on both sides. So after multiplying by Ka on both sides, you realize that this expression, you already know what this expression is. This expression is actually found in equation 1, or this term is found in equation 1. Ka times HIN over IN minus is actually equals to the concentration of the hydronium ions. So we can just say we replace this with the concentration of the hydronium ions. They are equal to 10 multiplied by Ka. And then remember that whenever we know the equilibrium concentration of the hydronium ions, we can always use that to find the pH of the solution. So in this case, we're trying to determine what is the pH of the solution due to the presence of this indicator. So if we apply a negative log on both sides of the equation, this will be negative log times the concentration of the H3O plus ions is equals to negative log of 10 times the acid dissociation constant. Then from here, we know that this expression on the right hand side, on the left hand side, is actually equal to the pH of the solution. So the pH of the solution is equal to negative log. Remember that whenever we are working with logarithms, whenever we're having a product of two things, in this case we're having a product of 10 and Ka. So our argument here is got a product of 10 and Ka. So we can just use the logarithmic laws and say this is going to be negative into log of 10. And then remember, since we've got a multiplication here, we can just put a plus here, plus the log of Ka. And then when you distribute the negative sign, you already know that here our pH is going to have a value of negative log of 10. We already know that the logarithm of 10 is going to give us -1. So with this minus that is outside the bracket, that is going to give us +1. So this is going to be 1 plus, it's going to be minus actually, because when you distribute the negative sign into the bracket, that's going to be minus log of the Ka. All right, and then remember that whenever you have got negative log of a certain expression, that is a p function, because remember that whenever you want the function pH, you have to find negative log of the H plus ions or the H3O plus ions. Is the same thing. Whenever you want to find pOH, you just have to find the negative log of the OH minus ions as well. So whenever you want to find the p function for a certain reagent, you just have to say negative log times that reagent. So in this case, this is negative log times Ka. So that is to be the pKa. So we have to say that here pKa, remember that pKa, for us to find pKa, we need to just say negative log of the Ka, the equilibrium, the acid dissociation constant. So here we can therefore say that our pH here, our pH is actually equal to, this is going to be 1 and then this is going to be pKa, because basically the value of negative log Ka is actually equal to pKa, exactly as it is. So this is how you find the pH of an indicator using this this condition, that for us to be able to see for us to be able to see this indicator color changes, we need to be in this ratio needs to be greater or equal to 10. So it means that you can be able to observe that color. So this is pKa plus 1, or you can say this is 1 plus pKa. Let me just rearrange the terms here so that it looks a bit neater. So this is pH is equals to pKa plus 1. And then if you are going to use the second condition, let's just say we do the very same thing that we did to this expression. We multiply it by Ka on both sides on equation 3. So if we multiply it by Ka on both sides, Ka times this and then Ka times that, this is going to give us an equation that is going to give us something like the concentration of H3O plus ions at equilibrium is actually going to be equal to 0.1 multiplied by the acid-air dissociation constant. And then if you just apply the negative log on both sides, you already know that this is going to be negative log of H3O plus ions, and then this is going to be times negative log as well on the other side. So this is going to be negative log of this 0.1 Ka. Let me just rewrite it as is. This is going to be negative log of the 0.1 times Ka. So this is 0.1 times Ka. Then from here you can be able to see that this negative log of H3O plus ions, that is going to give you the pH, and then this pH is going to be equal to negative into the log of 0.1, and then this is plus the log of Ka. This is plus the log of Ka. From here you can just see that here our pH is going to give us something like pKa minus 1, because when you do the log of 0.1, the log of 0.1 will give you negative 1. You multiply this with the negative sign outside the bracket, that's going to or the log of 0.1 is going to give you positive 1. Then you multiply with the negative sign outside, you get negative 1. Then the log of Ka, when you multiply with this negative sign, that's going to give you the negative log of Ka, which will still give you pKa as the previous expression. So here, this is the derivation that we also made as well, to say that using the condition number 2, or using equation 3, this is the value of the pH. So the pH here of the indicator can be found using this this method. You just need to know what is the Ka value, or what is the acid dissociation constant of that indicator. So we can just say in simple term, or in conclusion, the pH can just be written as the pKa plus or minus 1, because both expressions, they have the same terms. It's just that there is two different signs here. There's a plus on one side and then there's a minus on the other side. So we can just say the pH is going to be equal to pKa plus or minus 1. So in this range, we are able to observe the color changes. That is the range that allows us as humans to be able to observe if there are any color changes. Otherwise, if we are outside of this range, we cannot be able to observe any color changes whenever the analyte reacts with the whenever the indicator changes color, and whenever the analyte is reacting with the standard solution, we cannot be able to see any color changes if we go out of the range of this ratio. So this ratio is the one that is controlling color. So thank you so much for watching this wonderful video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends also. Stay tuned.